So with ABT Lockdown Live, I think we've got a new record set tonight. I think your third appearance, is it, Timmy, on Lockdown Live, or is it maybe your fourth?
You must be hard up.
Well, you are heavily involved because you do work for Rapala VMC Australia. We have the Suffolk Bass Pro Series. We have the Rapala Australian Opens happening. And of course, we have the Costa Brim Series, and you guys do Costa as well. So if there's three pies, you got your fingers all in all of them at the moment. And look, post-COVID, tackle sales going pretty well at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, no, it's pretty good. We're pretty lucky on the East Coast, most of the way up the East Coast, that we can get out and fish. I still feel sorry for Victorian brothers, but yeah, no, it's been really good. And I think the fact that no one can travel overseas and that everyone's looking to travel at home, and I think the really good thing for the fishing industry is that we're getting a lot of new people to the sport. So hopefully it'll flow into the tournaments in years to come.
Yep, we like that. And inherently, of course, fishing is an extremely social distancing pastime. Even in a tournament, everyone tries to find their own spot. You've got to be 30 metres away from the next guy, and that's much more than the government recommended limit. Now, of course, one of the consequences of COVID regulations has been, firstly, yes, Victoria has been chopped off. No one wants to know Victoria anymore, but also the Queensland border's shut, which means we've had to have a few changes. Biggest one right now is that the Australian Open we had to cancel last weekend down at Glenbourne. Fishing was fairly tough down there here, so maybe by the time that the New South Wales and the Queensland Opens happen next month, we do have an event for the Queenslanders and the New South Welshmen. The fishing may be a little bit better. So, look, such a great event last year. You didn't make it because the wheel fell off your trailer or something last year, didn't it? But a great event all up last year. Plenty of anglers and plenty of fish.
Yeah, I got there the year before as well, and it was great fishing then as well. So I was really disappointed last year not to do it. But this year, even though it's great that you guys at ABT are running the two events, because they're two great dams, it's given the New South Wales guys and the Queensland guys, something to go and fish towards. And I love Cania. I'm looking forward to getting back there.
Of course, and we're going to talk about that in a little while. Now, one of the things about the Open event is, one, it's an open event. Anyone can come, put their money on the table and participate in that 100% payback that we pay back. So if we collect $50,000 in entry fees, there's going to be $50,000 in cash given away. But Rapala always comes to the party and provides plenty of swag. Swag standing for stuff we all get. So when you sign in, and of course we don't have a big briefing anymore, we have a sign in the afternoons from 2 p.m. at both locations. Down at New South Wales, it'll be at Nick's shop at Aberdeen. In Queensland, it'll just be near the ramp at Cania. You get some stuff, and Timmy, you've brought some of it in. I want you to run through some of the cool Rapala stuff that you're giving away to all the people, but also some of the prizes that we've got for the events.
Well, a lot of the time when you get stuff, it's stuff that the suppliers want to get rid of and things like that. But like at Rapala, we like to give stuff that you'll use. So probably one of our favourite lures bass fishing at the moment is the Rapala V-Blade. Yep. So it's a cross sort of between a blade and a lipless crankbait. Really good on the bass and the impoundments up here, down at Hins and everywhere like that. You can fish it through the timber pretty well. It's pretty snag resistant, but also in open water. You can fish it all the way from burning the edges down to 50 foot if you want to fish it that deep. Great lure. We've sold a heap of them. Feedback's really good. And I've heard of a few people getting fish over 50, but I've got a 51 fork length out of Ivanhoe on it as well. So very good lure in some really good colours.
And they're a brand new lure on the market. Like, this is literally only came out a month or two ago, and the sales have been really good.
A couple of months ago, and the sales that blew us away. We had to air freight some more in, which is pretty hard at the moment, but we air freighted a heap more in, and yeah. So results have been really good all the way from saltwater to freshwater, but bass really love them.
And thinking back, I'm pretty sure we launched that lure on Lockdown Live.
We did launch that lure on Lockdown Live, and yeah, so like I said, it's been really, really good. So it's something a little bit different for Rapala too. So it's really good working with them, because this is a US one, which just happens to work really well on Australian fish species. But we've got some new lures coming out within the next month that are very Australian oriented. We're getting a lot of input into them. We're getting a lot of input into the colours, which never really happened before. So watch this space, because over the next 12 to 18 months, we've got some really good lures coming out for Rapala, which are going to be good for brim, bass and barra.
Awesome. So we've got that one. Tell us about the next one that everyone gets.
So also a new lure for this year as well. so pretty new lure, is the Ripstop. So this is going to be a cracking jerkbait up around the edges. Not a super deep diver, only get down to about 6 foot. My favourite colour clown there. But this has got the little boot on the back, so it's really, you can really jerkbait it quickly, but with that boot on the back, it's like having an anchor on it. So you can really jerk it along that snag, along that weed edge, in front of that, and keep it in front of the fish's face for a long period of time.
And that's what jerkbaits are all about. It's all about attracting the attention of the fish and then leaving it in the strike zone as long as possible. And I think the colder the water, the longer you want to leave it in front of the strike zone there. So the Ripstops are great. Yeah, I think they're an American bait, but again, those sizes and colours are Mickey Mouse for Australian bass.
That's right. And then in both of the impoundments we're fishing, the New South Wales and Queensland Open, everyone's favourite way to catch a fish is on the surface.
Yep.
So this is the old skitter prop. So been around forever. We've got a few new colours, which our Southeast Asian friends did, and we jumped in on the run with them. But my favourite for bass is a dark colour, so its silhouette's really good. But we'll have these out there as well. So, I've caught some great bass on those. They're great for jacks and everything as well. So balsa, I really like with this one here. It's a balsa lure, very, very natural. You can fizz it really, aggressively if you're fishing for jacks and trevally and things. But for bass, you can work it nice and slowly, supple, nice little thing, and they love it, so they'll come up and smash it.
Now, there are, I think, very few ABT anglers who have won ABT events on both impoundments, but you're one of those. And from memory, you've won a Glenbourne event on a topwater before.
Yes, well, I got my kicker fish for the event was on a topwater, a little popper, and look, it's been very good for me in the past, but it's also been my Achilles heel because sometimes you'll fish it too long, and you should have been doing something else, but quite often the topwater you'll get the big fish bite as well. So it's a calculated risk, but definitely I'll be throwing at Cania topwater to start the day with, and if I can catch a couple of fish on it, I'll definitely be throwing it in the comp.
Now let's talk about the time, your most recent ABT win was at Cania, and you did lots of your damage with jerkbaits. Which one in particular?
It was actually the same colour as this. We didn't have these ones out when I won it there, but it was a Shadow Wrap shad, 9 centimetre, a little bit deeper in the body profile than that, but that was the main lure. Then to the Jack Deep after that. In the mornings, that's how I got my fish, and I suppose it came back to probably the first time I fished Cania with you, probably over 20 years ago, when we fished it on a winter's day, and we actually were catching on Rapala husky jerks back then. And everyone a couple of years ago when I won it was spoon crazy. So we'd just been to Banduma, was one on spoons. Everyone was fishing spoons the whole way. We found some suspended fish in about 7.5 foot, caught some on the Jack Deeps, the smaller lure, then went into the bank, cast a bigger jerkbait to the bank, caught one, caught another one, went down further, caught another one, thought, that's me, that's what I'm doing. I don't want to throw spoons.
Awesome. So you're actually going to be fishing the Queensland version of these events. Of course, us Queenslanders we can travel to New South Wales, but we can't get back again. So you're going to fish the Cania round of this event, and you're doing it in one of the smallest boats in the field. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, it's on the school holidays, and we're taking a couple of weeks off with the family, so we're going to be doing a little bit on the coast, a little bit at Mondrian Dam, but then up to Cania as well. So, look, it's an individual event. It's a small dam. I've got a little cross-country 4-1 with a 15 on the back, so, at most, it's going to take me 10 minutes to get to the other end of the dam. And hopefully the fish are hard into timber, and all you guys in big bass boats won't be able to get to them.
Well, there you go. That's the plan. And it's interesting to see how it goes. Now, there's some great gift packs for competitors there. So anyone fishing the open event, doesn't matter whether you're in Queensland, New South Wales, can pick up some of that swag at the sign-in. Remember, we're not having briefings. It's a sign-in. All of that information on the ABT site. Now, another bit of information. We always go to good ABT sponsored dealers to do our sign-ins. It's going to be Nick Price's shop down at Aberdeen. There's no one at the lake at Cania, but at Gladstone for the Gladstone Brim event, it's going to be the complete angler at Gladstone. Liam and the crew there, they've got a shop there. It's full of sort of brim, bass and barra gear. You can buy anything you like there. And it's a real pleasure for us, I suppose, to go and expose our anglers to the local store, because as you and I know, go into a local store, you're always going to find some local lures that you need because you didn't even know about them. Liam, of course, he's a Costa dealer. It's the Costa Brim Series event up at Gladstone. Tell us how much you really, really want to fish the brim, the barra, and then the bass event. But in reality, you're going to be doing the school holiday, and the bass event.
Oh, I'm doing the school holiday. My wife organised it all, but she goes, hang on, we're going a week on the coast, 4 days to Mondrian, and then to Kenya. How did this happen? How good's that? So I will be doing a fair bit of fishing. I won't be up at the Gladstone Brim event or the Awonga Barra event, but hopefully I'll be catching a few big brim and a few big barra in the lead up to Kenya.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming in this afternoon. Again, shout out to all the guys down in Victoria there, and make sure that you check out all of the latest Rapala gear when you're in your tackle store next.